I said go live. Hey guys, it's Bradley from Zeal Cigars. I have one of the greatest cigar reviewers in the entire world on point for us today. He's going to be discussing with me all the love, all the hate, and how to do cigar reviews. And I got to bring him up for you right now. His name is Ron Real. What's up, my man, Ron?
YouTube, what's going on, baby? It's your boy Ron Real, aka Double R, back in the building. Back with another live stream, back with another damn banger. What's going on, Brad? Just had to do it real quick for you.
You do put out bangers, and I'm loving it. So I'm fully excited about this. I've hit the live button, so we're definitely live. So last time I forgot it with Kevin, and I did it a half hour late, and I'm very, very sorry about that. But I want to ask you really quick, how did you get into cigar reviews? How did you get into cigars? How long have you been smoking? Give it to me.
All right. Multiple part answer. We'll answer shortest to longest. Been smoking cigars for right at 6 years.
Okay.
Following YouTube for just about as long as I've been smoking cigars. That's kind of how I got all my initial information about things, was just going on YouTube, finding reviewers. And then started doing reviews in September of 2019. At some point, just kind of got in my head. I was smoking cigars and just got really fascinated with how blenders were able to put together different leaves to get different flavor profiles, different intensities. Just really caught my attention. So I was like, man, I want to try to become a blender. Now, I know most of the time people are sons, or you're brought into a family. But I wanted to try to find a way to get into the industry without becoming a sales rep. I just really did not want to become a sales rep. So I figured start a YouTube channel, get a good following where people trust your palate, and maybe a company will give you a shot. So, I've been at it for a year and a half.
Okay. So two other things I got to tell you before we begin. What are you smoking and what are you drinking? So we're both smoking something and drinking something. You go first.
I'm smoking a Illusione Singulare Phantom, and I am pairing it with a Bonanza, which is a Cabernet.
Okay. So what notes are you getting out of that?
Well, with the Illusione stuff, most of the time, this been aging for a little bit. This Phantom is probably about 3 or 4 years old. Getting a little bit of black pepper, some spice, some nice earthiness on this one too. I'm expecting the creaminess and some natural sweetness to start kicking in, as most Illusione blends do have. But right now, it's just kind of you could just definitely tell it's a Nicaraguan cigar, which for me, I'm a fan of the spice. So I'm usually after the sweet and spicy profile of cigars. That's my lane. And then with the wine, you're getting more of that like boysenberry, blackberry. It's not really jammy, but you got some soft tannins in there too, and just kind of with the pepperiness, the pepperiness. I don't know why that jumbled me up so bad. Pepperini. I don't even know if that's a word, Brad, but
pepperiness. It's a new word.
Pepperiness of this, and they're going good together. So, what about you? What you smoking on?
I'm smoking the Kintsugi by Alec Bradley. This is one of my favorite cigars of this year. It's a very, very good cigar. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I got some good cinnamon out of this. I mean, it's a great stick. And I'm pairing it with Appleton 12-year aged rum from Jamaica. So it's really interesting. I got like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and I got banana in this rum. So I'm like, Cinnamon Toast Crunch with the bananas. I mean, got some bananas in your cereal.
We're on both sides of the spectrum. You got the nice sweetness, and I'm getting more of the earthiness and pepperiness. But I think the Kintsugi is a great cigar too. I'm sitting on a box of Robustos currently. I think it's a great price on it too. Shout out to Alec and Bradley. They're doing some good things over there.
They're doing great stuff, man. I can't believe how good they're doing. I mean, it's something. I mean, I guess you'd expect nothing less from Alec Bradley by nature that the company's named after them, But when you're a kid growing up in the industry, like my son has no interest in cigars whatsoever. He likes everything from Star Wars to like UFC fighting. That's his world right there. So, but to be raised in that and then to actually like follow in your dad's footsteps, and be blending cigars. I mean, it's a heck of a banger. It really
I know,
is.
man. I wish my dad was into cigars. He doesn't smoke or drink, so
my dad does both. My dad does both enough for two of us, which is great. So love you, Dad. Just shout out to you. So here's my question for you. How did you get in the cigar industry, and who were the guys that you watched that kind of got you into it?
So,
cigar reviewer.
Yeah. So I would say in the beginning, Lee Mack, of course, was one of the first people that I found. Still currently follow him. And now we're counterparts, which is even better too. You know, I've always thought that was really humbling to see myself from being a viewer to be somebody to bouncing ideas off of them, collaborating with them. So Lee Mack's one of them. Piro Maduro is another guy that I followed. He doesn't do reviews anymore, but I followed him. Charles Wallingford was one of the guys that I was really big on. I first started watching cigar content. Dr. Joe's show with Cubans. There's another guy named Dave Dude. He's a flight attendant. I think he's out of California somewhere. I've talked to him periodically too. He does really good reviews too. Those were pretty much the regular stuff that everybody sees: Cigar Obsession, Vixen, TNT Cigars at the time.
Yeah, dude, just I'm looking for the accolades, baby. Looking for the shout outs.
Hey, that's kind of, I was thinking about that. I'm like, that kind of goes without saying, though. The channels were so massive that I feel like if you were looking for cigar content, you had to run across TNT Cigar Obsession or Cigar Vixen. You just had to. Should I Smoke This Too? He was another one that I've seen. So
yeah. Should I Smoke This is a good one too.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to Cigars Daily and Tim Swanson over there. Does a great job with what he does. It's interesting to get into the I got some allergies. Couldn't edit that one out.
I saw the face before I heard the sound. And I was like, man, is he about to cry?
I know. I was like, but it's really interesting to get into the cigar industry by nature of the cigar reviews, and like you're noticing it now because I know you're big, man. I know you're up and coming. I watch your channel grow. I reach out to you kind of a little bit. We've talked a little bit here and there, and to see you have just exploded on the scene in so many different ways. But that comes at a price. I mean, you pay the price a little bit. You get a little bit of dare I say, love and hate. So talk a little bit about the love and hate relationship with the cigar community. Go ahead.
Well, for me, like I said, I've been doing this since September of 2019. For probably the first year or so, it's been pretty much predominantly love. But in the past 6 months or so, I don't know, because now it's just been so many different things. I'm just doing collaborations and a lot of I would say I'm not really more so the traditional reviewer now. It's funny to say that because I'm still sitting in front of a camera and I'm pretty cut and dry. Like when it comes to just giving information, giving a review, unlike Uncle Lee Mack's style, he's more, you're going to hear some stories. His videos are going to be longer. Mine are not traditionally like that. But I think that what I bring to the table and what has helped me become successful is I think that people see that I'm actually really different than what a lot of people are, even while it's just sitting in front of a camera. And not only that, but also, in the past 7 months, when all that stuff kind of started, I was helping, shout out to James Garcia and Black Line Luxuries. I started with them a Cigar of the Month club. So, it's just very different from a lot of people than what they're traditionally, used to seeing. You got this new guy that just started, and now he's promoting a Cigar of the Month club that he curates. Who, you know what I mean? So if you're like, well, who's Ron? And then they see this and they're like, who is this dude? I don't really like him, or I don't really like what I'm seeing. It's just because sometimes it could be a little much for people, just seeing so much so quick. So, but at the same time, I say it all the time too. I can't control how I'm growing. I can't control who ends up hitting subscribe. I can't control the people that view the content. All I can do is just be consistent and put out the content.
Right.
Like the people that hit the thumbs down, I can't control it. Like I can only control the parts of my life that I can. And I like what you said on the stream with Kevin last week. My wife loves me, my 2 kids love me, my family loves me, and my friends love me. So that's really all that matters, man.
Right.
I don't really care if anybody else doesn't like me, So
right. It's. I mean, there's a folk artist I listen to once in a while, and he has a song called "I Don't Care If Anyone Loves Me But You." And I go back and I evaluate my life by that continually. I know God loves me. I know my wife loves me. I know my kids love me. I know my parents love me. I hope my employees love me. Justin's back in the background creeping. Get in here. Get in here and say what's up, dude. Get in here and say what's up.
Justin says he loves his mom.
I got my
as long as the paychecks keep coming, you're gonna be all right.
Right. But I mean, that's a good way to put it, because if it's something that I think social media is such a ginormous part of our lives now, that if you judge who likes you and who doesn't like you on just social media alone, you're going to end up depressed.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. It's going to see you in some depression, man. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's awful because, and that's why it's one of the things that I love. And I had a guy tell me, I actually paid a guy to come in one time and train me on social media a very long time ago when I was with TNT. And I asked him, tell me what to do. And all he did is train me. He says, post and get off and don't go look at your likes. Don't look at your likes. Now, the fact of the matter is, because when you run a business, you have to look at likes. You have to look at those things because it's important to how your business grows and certain things like that. Right. He said, but don't take that as personal validation. If you take that as personal validation, it will ruin you, much like anybody who hates or leaves a hateful comment. Okay, now here's the difference. I differentiate between opinions and hateful comments. Opinions are like, I expect people to disagree with me over cigars.
Right.
I expect that because everybody's palate's different. I could say, I love the cigar and maybe 25% of the people will love it. Or I love the cigar and maybe 50% of the people love it. 100% of people aren't going to like the cigar that I like. It's a fact. Right. But you and I are in different spheres. I mean, I'm a cigar salesman. You're a cigar true reviewer. That's a big difference. Yeah. To some. But the fact of the matter is, I don't review cigars for the purpose of just simply reviewing them. I review them for the purpose of selling them. You review them in regards to particularly just pure reviews, which I really respect. I love that, and I really respect that. And I think we need that in our industry. But we were talking off camera a little bit because you and I talked for like a half hour off camera because we just cool like that. We like kicking it. We like kicking it. So, but you were saying like, I mean, there's some cigar reviewers coming out, man. It's not the part of what you're thinking. So talk to me about that, man. Talk to me about it.
So, I mentioned that in the live stream I had on the channel before too, like I said, for me, because I still respect the energy and the energy, the time to the craft that's needed to put into it. So, I think a lot of times I have such a personality and I feel like I either like or don't like a person. And I feel like I have that personality and I have that aura about me where probably somebody will see me and they either really will like me or they really don't like me, which is cool. But I say that to say this, like when I look, people all the time, hey, I got a review channel or check my channel out. And a lot of times I won't, and that's what it's funny. Danny Crook's a follower of mine. He always says Ron has eyes and ears everywhere, which is just kind of the running joke. But I watch a lot of stuff, but a lot of times if I'm not commenting or, it's a difference. Sometimes I'll watch things like Kevin has mentioned before in the car or something. So I can't comment because I'm driving and listening. But a lot of times I won't really necessarily share or comment or like, or I always like the video to help, but I won't spread it because if I don't think that, and it's no disrespect to anybody because somebody could feel that same way about me. When I first started my channel, I sent it out to 1,000 people and maybe 10 people got back to me. So I just assumed that whoever watched it didn't care for it, which is cool. But I'm not gonna say anything bad about it because, at least publicly, because I don't want to disrespect anybody putting the time in to try to do what they're doing for their part. But just the fact of the matter is, if we're gonna just be honest, man, everybody's just not good at everything. If that's the case, we'd all be in the NFL and we'd all, be playing professional soccer or something.
Right.
So we're not, everybody's not meant to be on camera. Everybody's not meant to be a podcast.
Right.
Everybody's not meant to be a blender. Everybody's not meant to, so you just got to know your lane, man. And I think a lot of times, go ahead.
Well, I want to interject something you said that I think is important. And I tell this for my kids, you're 100% right. Not everybody's meant to do this. Like there's a certain amount of thick skin you have to have in order to be a YouTuber. And because, I think we are at least the millennial generation or something like that, maybe the 30-year-olds or what have you, have this idea you're told you can do anything. You can do anything you want to do. And they try it and they fail and they feel depressed by that versus being honest with somebody like, what are you good at? Find out what you're good at and then do it with all your passion, all your might. So, my son at one point said, Dad, I'm thinking about doing a YouTube channel. I said, just don't get into cigars. He goes, no, I have no passion for that whatsoever. I'm like, well, then get into like what you want to do. And my son is a big movie buff. He's he writes, he's got a couple of books that are kind of in the midst of trying to get published. Things like that are very, very important. But I'm like, in that lane, son, I will support you. I'll do everything. But in my lane, keep in mind, I know what my lane takes to get there. I know what my lane takes to get there, and I know that in order to get there and to really do it the way that it needs to be done, with being correct, if you would, it takes a lot of hard work. A lot of you'll filter through so much hate, and a lot of love. Don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, man.
I would say the love is still overwhelming compared to the hate, but it's just like, me and Kevin were talking about that off camera like a while ago. Like, it's just one of those necessary evils, man. As you grow and as you get bigger, more people aren't going to like you. It's just, so my thing is too, like, when people are judging me, if somebody doesn't like the content, then that's one thing. But sometimes I've seen some people make comments and it's just like, the stuff that they kind of try to push off why they don't like you is the very thing that everybody else in the genre is doing. So I can't look at Brad and be like, oh, I don't like Brad because he's a salesman. Well, so is I'm not mentioning that, but there's a couple other people that run stores too. So are they,
absolutely.
So, now, if they say they don't like your personality or something, that's one thing. But you can't say I don't like Brad because I feel like he pushes his products. Everybody's pushing. Everybody that's tied to a company pushes a product.
I 100% do.
Yeah, like
I push my products more than I do anything else. I mean,
right? As you should.
There's for every one cigar that I sell out of my main humidor, which has everybody else's product, including Alec Bradley's and so on and so forth, I sell 9 of my house brands.
Right.
So for every 9 cigars out of my back humidor, I sell 1 cigar out of my front humidor, and it's the one that's on display. If you would. So I think that's a big issue.
But my thing is, even hearing that too, like, I don't have a problem with it too, because at the end of the day, as long as the smoker is satisfied, you're keeping your lights on, and you're still providing your brands or your blends, then what's the problem? Right. Everybody's happy. So,
One of my dudes just walked in, Jerry. Get up here, Jerry. Get up here and say, hey, this is Ron Real. You're able with Ron Real. Check him out, Jerry.
Wait.
What's up with it?
Whoa.
He can't hear you. You're in my ears. He said, what's up with it? What's up?
How you doing?
What's going on? I'm good, man. How you doing?
You with the original Jerry TV. Today you are blessed. Today you are blessed. Go to Jerry Robinson, Jerry TV, because I'm knocking it out.
He's killing it, bro. That's one of our best guys, man. One of our friends of our shop, Jerry.
I don't expect nothing different, man. High energy.
Yeah, he's.
Don't worry, I will remember all the little people later down the road. Okay, all right. I'm out.
See you, bro. Jerry's awesome, man. I think that's one of the things that we love. We love seeing. That's one of the benefits of having a retail shop too. And when I first started doing this, my parents were asking me, "Do you want a retail shop or do you want to do like just online only?" I only want to do online only. Mm-hmm. And one of the big benefits I've seen of doing a retail shop is, man, I fell in love with my customers, man. They're just, and it's so great. I care. Like I'm as a Jerry. I mean, he has a huge Christmas party, like 50, 60 people in his backyard. He's like, you got to come, man. You're coming, right? I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll make an appearance. He's like, no. It's a make an appearance thing. You're going to come. You're going to drink. You're going to smoke cigars. Bring cigars for everybody. I'm like, all right,
and that's when you bring a Rothschild, huh?
Yeah, right. Well, it was, so all my house blends, right? So I mean, it was great. We had a great time over there. And Jared's a great friend of the shop. He hikes all the mountains around here, and then he comes in and gets the cigar afterwards. So I love him to death. So Jared, I know you're gonna see us later. Shout out to you. I love you, bro.
Definitely.
But in the real deal, like, I don't want to give. I want to say this because I said it with Kevin, and I'll say it with you. And I think we talked about this off camera a little bit. When it comes to haters or anybody who would leave, I'll say like a hateful comment. Now, I think there's a difference, and I'll say this: there's a difference between opinions and hateful comments.
Right.
Opinions are like, I didn't really get that out of the cigar. I don't really like that. I think the cigar's whack, whatever else, which is fine, and that's your opinion. And everybody's entitled to their opinion when it comes to cigars. Hate is when you take a shot at the person's character, and you have no right doing that because you got no evidence and or accolades to that being true. And when that happens, that's where I'm like, that's why I draw the line with people. I'm like, look, that dude's just a hater. Right. He sits around all day, in his grandma's basement, and that's all he's doing is he's trolling people's, Facebook pages and or YouTube pages or anything else like that. So, and I think that haters love getting on guys who are newer or even guys who have been around for a little bit. I try to get them out of here immediately. If I find a hater, I'll go immediately. So if there's a difference of opinion with me, that's fine. But if it's something that's going to hurt my business and he's trying to take personal shots at me that don't count, like, trust me, I'm just gonna be honest. I am a sinner saved by Jesus, and that's the only good thing about me. Other than that, I have hurt more people than I can ever tell you about, and I have done everything I do. I got a wake of people in my past that I've hurt and so on and so forth. When somebody who isn't involved with those relationships comes in and tries to speak to that past that has no idea what's going on, that's what I consider a hater. I'm like, okay, you don't know what's going on. You don't know the whole situation and so on and so forth. And you're trying to make a judgment call on what happened where you weren't even involved, and so on and so forth. But I think that I want to unpack this with you a little bit. I think that there are people, because you're on YouTube, because you're on social media, they feel like they have this right to invade your space, invade your personal life. I had one guy actually personally email me. He goes, "The fact that you don't have your wife on camera really disturbs me." I'm like,
"Why?
She doesn't smoke cigars, bro.
Right? Why you want me to do? You want my wife now too? Like, man.
Right. I was like, I'm not gonna have my wife on camera. My wife didn't smoke cigars. She has no interest in cigars, whatsoever.
I think listening to that comment too, like, everything in life for me has always been about balance. Hey, you might not see my wife, but I'm married. You might not see my kids every blue moon or something, but I have kids. So you get an element of knowing what I have involved in my life without knowing too much sometimes. It's almost like people want you to be just completely open. It's like, nah, you don't get that unless you're at the house or something, man, where you get to see me with my house shoes on, sliding around the house and, laughing or what, that's when you get that. Because it could be the contrary to that. You could have that person, because there are some people out there that some people that I watch, you don't know anything about them. You don't know what state they live in. You don't know if they're married, if they got any brothers or sisters. So it's like, you just got to balance it out,
Absolutely. 100%. I'm trying to get off this. Lee Mack, go to your Facebook and click in so we can get you in here, man. Come on. And Cigar Props on here. Come on, Kevin. We know we love you. Get in here, dude. More the merrier.
Definitely.
So and I 100% respect that, man. I really do, and I think that in a weird era that our whole country's in, one of the best things that we can do is really spread positivity and spread love around. Not just, I think we have so much to be thankful for and so much to be thankful in, the situations that we're in right now. I mean, think about it, dude. We are literally smoking cigars, and this is a luxury thing. It just really is, and we're drinking fine drink and everything that took people, lots of people, hundreds in some cases, chance to provide this little stick for our enjoyment.
Right.
So I'm thankful and I'm grateful for that.
And for me, I am too. The only thing that, like I said, even with kind of a brash personality, my only thing is just keep the integrity in it. That's all that I ask. That's all that I ask.
Absolutely.
That's it, man. If you keep the integrity, be creative, get some good, put some good content out, man. It's not, people make it harder than what it really needs to be. It's just like,
and that's a true statement too. That even in the midst of doing all the cigar reviews, and there's so many cigar reviewers out there now, there has to be, I guess there would have to be some accountability and some look, you have to know cigars. You got to have a palate. You got to have some kind of, and I would say this too. I'd say, let me ask you this. What would be your three things? Like, somebody's thinking about starting a cigar review. What would be three things that they definitely need to have in order to start a cigar review? Go.
Very easy that you said three things, because anybody that's been following me for a long time knows I say you have to be honest, consistent, and creative. You got to have those three things. Because you can have a person that's creative and consistent, but they might not necessarily be honest, or you can have somebody that's honest and creative but not consistent enough. You gotta have all three of those to really, I guess, for the lack of a better word, explode. Because people ask me all the time, well, how did you get the channel to grow? And I was like, it's really no secret, man. So for me, everybody has a different way of how they handle things. I never got on anybody's page and asked them how to grow my channel or anything. I just put content out because that's what I love to do. If you really are here for the right reasons and you love doing what you do, just do it. Trust me, wherever you're supposed to be, you're going to end up at.
Right.
If the right person, they'll find you when they need to find you. Sometimes so many people try to rush the process, man. They try to rush the grind. They try to rush the grind. It's like you gotta accept and love the grind. That way, when you get up to where you want to get to, you'll appreciate it more, and you'll make sure that you're gonna do exactly what it takes to stay where you're at. But if you get it too quick, sometimes, man, I don't think really people really appreciate what it takes to really get to 1,000 subs, what it takes to get to 5,000 subs, what it takes to get 1,000 views a video. You got to be working to have numbers like that, man. You're starting to get up into an area where Cigar Obsession, like these people have been doing this for over a decade, man. You're not going to get this. You're not going to get these numbers in a month, or 2 months.
And it's I remember getting to 50,000 at TNT, and
I'll never get there. By the way,
huh?
I don't think any channel now will be able to. Not if you're just doing cigars. I think y'all were the last Mohegans to get numbers like that. So. And I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to mention that just in case if there are any reviewers out there now that are start the 50,000, 100,000. Don't even
it's rough. It's rough, and I think the things that Tim and I did were magic. I think they were. I mean, when you said we had a personality that, and that's not to take anything away that I'm doing now with Justin because he's incredible in his own right, and what we did in the past. But I think that's one of the things that. Is really important to recognize. And we jumped on something when it was hot and when it was needed. So when it was hot and it was needed, you got 100,000 people to subscribe, at that point. So to do something very similar to that with just cigars and be a cigar salesman, if you would, is very rare. I mean, you're not going to see people do that because there's just different things that we did that we really, really did enjoy. But I do think it's possible. I was enjoying this Kintsugi. Which is
this one,
Are you tell me about your steak, dude? Tell me how you enjoy it.
Pretty much same. So it's funny for me, like, because I'm cool. I'm able to enjoy the conversation. I'm smoking, and that's the thing I want to tell people too. Like, even being a reviewer, most reviewers will tell you they enjoy more. They're going to enjoy their cigar more off camera because I don't have to really think as much about it. I could just smoke, sit back and smoke and talk. I'm sitting here talking with you. Involved with the chat.
Speaking of talking, somebody talks a lot of crap, and we need to hold him accountable to it. I'm about ready to get him on here because he's talking crap and he wants to start some stuff. I'm talking to Kevin the Cigar.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Oh, same old. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, man.
Good. Thanks for getting my invite. Tell Lee Mack to go click in his face. Uncle Lee.
Lee might just be sitting at the. He might just be sitting back in the cut. He'll hop in if he wants to.
Well, he also said, "Hey, Brad, send me the damn link."
Oh, he did. I didn't see that part.
Man, I tell you what. Kevin, copy the link and send it to him. I sent it to him already. Lee, don't be doing your boy like that. Don't be doing me dirty. I seriously sent it to you, dude. I sent him the link on his Facebook because. Uncle Lee Mack's a little old. He needs a little help getting on this kind of stuff. Come on, Lee Mack. So I just sent it to you. Lee Mack 12 Cigar Reviews. Come on, Lee. Lee Mack Cigar Reviews. You got
to send it to his personal. I just forwarded it to it. Leander McLean.
Oh, the personal one? Mm-hmm. I don't do that. Man.
Oh, you guys aren't friends like me and Ron?
Okay. No, I do have it. So Lee, get on there because Kevin hooked you in and stuff like that. Kevin, let's do some talking, man. Let's get some stuff going. Here we go. All right, because I got two of the biggest reviewers on here. I'm pretty excited about that. So, Kevin, let's talk about. I mean, you are one of the most positive guys out there, dude. I love you to do. You're a brother from another mother. So I'm just. So we got Ron Real. I mean, can you believe this? We got Ron Real on here, and we got Kevin.
You saying me, but I'm looking down here and seeing Cigar Prop. This is the man down here.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Lee or Ron, we talk every day.
We do talk. We talk every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you talk every day to Ron, but you can't holler at your boy. That's all right, dude.
See, Kevin didn't tell y'all. It was just a joke on that top 4 Cigar Reviewers for Life video. By the way, that was a classic.
I had fun with that. That's what
That's all the challenge was for. You know, I watched some people's videos, and they're just like, well, I'm like, it's just for fun, man.
You know, and Brad will tell you that, and Lee Mack would probably say the same thing. You know, the videos that we love watching, or I love watching, are the ones where people are having fun.
Right.
They're enjoying what they're doing. You know, there are reviewers out there, you can just tell it's a chore. It's a job for them.
Yep.
And that's not fun to watch at all.
No. And I'm gonna tell you, I typically try to not watch those if I can tell if it's like that.
When it shows up in your feed, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, man. Oh no. This guy knows. So surprise, I didn't see your message. Somebody hook up Uncle Lee Mac. Uncle Lee, what is happening right now?
I sent it to him.
Uncle Lee,
Brad, what you could do is just post the link in the chat, but just tell everybody, hey, just because the link is in the chat doesn't mean hop in.
Just because the link's in the chat does not mean you're welcome.
Because you might get distracted. Like, can I get on?
Yeah. All right, Lee, I just posted it there. Yeah. Nobody else jump on that because you're not going to get in. Okay, don't be doing that to me. So some of y'all do me dirty. I see it. Yeah, come on, Lee. Click on that and get in here. Let's go. Come on, Lee. There.
And then, you know, I just saw that message too, man. And like I told Brad, like, you know, for me, it's the cliche, but I really do feel humbled, man, because like I said, everybody that we're talking about, Lee Mack, Kevin, you guys have all been doing this a lot longer than me. So I don't take any of this stuff for granted that's going on right now. And like I said, it's still really kind of mind boggling to me. Like, I remember being the 25 or 26-year-old in 2015 and clicking in on YouTube and watching TNT and Lee Mack. And so fast forward in 6 years, like, doing a live stream with Brad from TNT is like, nah, no way.
Make Brad feel old. It's like, I remember watching Brad when I was like 4 years old.
Yeah,
he was always he had an old gray.
Brad's beard wasn't so great at first.
Yeah. I know. Speaking of old men, what's up, Uncle Lee? I can't hear him, man.
I know you can't hear me because I wasn't saying shit. What's up, y'all?
What's up, Uncle Lee? How you doing, man?
Whoo, yeah, Facebook didn't want to let me be great. It said we refuse to connect from this link from I don't know who this Brad guy is.
I know. I wouldn't connect for me. I think that's for damn sure. But so Uncle Lee, I mean, you are the wisdom. You're our uncle. I mean, you're the coolest uncle that we have. Let's be honest about it. So I mean, like, you're the uncle. Talk to us a little bit about what it's been like in the cigar review industry. You know, just cigar reviews in general in the last 5 years. Uncle Lee, you were here before I was. I mean, you did it before Tim and I were ever on the scene or anything like that. So talk about how you see the evolution and then maybe where you think it's going.
You know what? I was there before you guys, and I sat there and I went like this. Yeah, and I watched you guys go right on past me, you know, gas station cigar reviews. I was like, oh, maybe I need to start reviewing backwards, and that'll be the thing, you know. And listen, one thing I can tell you this, right? We talked about the haters earlier and the people that don't like what you do and the people that really want to drag you down. But I got to say that has probably been like less than 0.5% of my experience. I got to say that I have met some of the greatest people from online cigar YouTube people, and not just online, but in person. I was out in Kansas City for a month. My brother Aaron Brooks, I had never spoken to him before. And he said, oh, man, I wish I had known you were out here. I would have brought you down to the lounge. I said, man, I'm out here for another 3 weeks. He came, he scooped me up. He took me to the smoke shop out there, took me down to the hood. We went to the private lounge, introduced me to the brothers, and I have a friend for life. So when I talk about the number one man from Kansas City, that's what happened. My man Lee Hill, another dude, I was going out there to get my truck with some kind of crazy ass idea I had to drive cross country in the middle of the winter as a new truck driver. And I was broke down and I called up Lee Hill. He said, where you at, brother? He said, just hold tight for about 30 minutes. I'm right behind you. I'm on my way to Maryland. I got a load, but I'm going to stop by and try to figure out what's going on with your truck and get you started. So those are the kind of people that I have met online in the community. 99.5% of the people have been there. Ron, Kevin, a lot of other people that are now creators that I'm going to say they are the children of what it is that I have done. You know, it's like when they've all started, I say, here's my phone number, call me. I'll tell you what I've experienced. I'll tell you some of the things that have been good for me, have been bad for me. You do your own thing, do it your own way, but let me give you this advice, and then you take it and you run. It's been great.
And I'm gonna tell you too, Brad. So like Uncle Lee will tell you, I don't care what nobody said. I'm the one that first dubbed him the GOAT. Everybody's calling him GOAT now after I said it. I dubbed him GOAT, and I gave my reasons why I called him GOAT, because it's funny, with me and Lee, people thought when I started my channel that's when we first found each other. Me and Lee have known each other for years. But what I've liked about Lee and what I like about you, Tim, as well, no matter how big you guys' channels is, you guys always make yourselves accessible. To be in the category of greatest of all time, Kevin's the same way. I try to do the same thing. You got to be accessible, man. You're on top of the mountain, but nobody can email you. Nobody can comment, or nobody can respond to you. Is that person really the best?
Right. Yeah.
And you know, it's not always about cigars. You know, Kevin and I have had conversations about kids and family and stuff that has nothing to do with cigars. Ron, and I know Ron before he even had a wife, you know, and when he got married, and I got the pictures and I got baby pictures and all this other kind of stuff. And that's the stuff that you share, and you're like excited for your brothers. You're like, man, this is some really good stuff, you know, and now there's some great channels that are coming up behind. And, you know, we've got some great women in the field now that we support. We like what they're doing. But like you said earlier, everybody ain't got it. Everybody ain't got it. And sometimes you have to realize that you don't have it. So one of my videos I did was advice for people starting new cigar channels. And really the number one advice is you got to love what you do, and you got to know why you're doing it. I'd rather you come out and say, hey, listen, I'm starting this because I see people getting free humidors and all of this stuff, and I want to get some of that free shit. That's what I want. That's fair. I would love somebody to say, that's why I'm doing this thing like that. But I want the free stuff.
They think it's bad. You know, even with us saying that, I think people feel like you can't say that. It's like, or you know, like if me and you or all of us on here, like, trust me, I'm not doing reviews to get free humidors and stuff. It's very nice to get it, but like,
it's a perk.
I'm still doing reviews if I'm not getting these humidors. Like it has nothing to do with it. So
but we all put in hundreds of videos, thousands and thousands of hours. So if someone sent me 10 humidors and 1,000 cigars for free, that is a drop in the bucket if you equate that to the time that you put
away from family
over these years. You know, that is nothing, you know, from what we put in.
And that's one thing I'll say too, Brad, just real quick. I will say I think that everybody that's successful is going to have this in common. They've sacrificed a lot. There is not one person. There is not one person that has a successful channel that has not sacrificed. If you in this and you ain't trying to put, it sounds unpopular, but there's going to be time away from the wife. There's going to be time away from the kids. There's going to be times you want to go hang out with your fellas and smoke in the lounge. You got to sacrifice if you want to get up there, man. It's no different than the guy that wants to get into the NFL or the NBA. You got to sacrifice, man.
Absolutely. And one thing that you said before, you know, Uncle Lee, that I think is important is that we talk to each other outside this spectrum. So a lot of guys think that the only time we talk is on this, but like Ron and I talked to Lee, you called me the other day, you know, Kevin, I talk to you all the time. You know,
I'm sorry.
I said, no. I love that. So like, for me, it's an honor to talk to you guys off camera, if you would. I'm like, I like that more than I'd even do this kind of stuff where I'm like, this is great, you know, and we get down and dirty with different things that are going on in our lives. And it's one of those things that it makes social media be what social media was intended to be. And that's like, it creates a broader family, you know, where you're like, man, these guys, I mean, I'm always going to know what's going on when we're out real. I want to know what's going on with Lee Mack, and I want to know what's going on with Kevin. That's a big deal for us, you know. And I think I said this to Kevin a long time ago. Kevin and I have never met personally. I've never met any of you guys personally. But would it be weird that if I saw you out here in my parking lot, I bust out here and just assault you with a big old hug.
Not at all, because
it would be expected. It'd be expected.
Right.
not at all. And Brad, people will say about, like, people get weird or whatever, right? So 5 years ago, I lost a girlfriend, a previous girlfriend of mine or whatever. And, kind of from that point in time, last year, 2 years ago, I had another good friend, a woman that went through a medical issue where I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to talk to her again in her right mind. She was going through a mental break or whatever. And those type of experience said to me, you know what? When I see you, I'm going to tell you that I love you. You understand? So Brad, when I talk to him, I say, I love you, brother, man, because I do, because that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So when I see you, it's like, bruh, we going to hug it up. We going to man hug. We're going to do what we do, because the feeling is true. The love is true. The feeling how I feel for you is true. When I called you the other day, I called you on something else. Like, well, I know who to call because I know whose advice I respect, and I want him to give me the real deal. I want him to tell me what it is I want to hear. I want him to tell me what it is for real. And that's the type of thing that I like with, these brothers right here, is that we can call up and talk about some things or whatever. Ron, he was going through some stuff last year, and he was like, nah, I'm gonna do that. I said, well, I think you should go left. I should sleep on it and go left. Ron said the next day, I slept on it and I'm going right. I said, okay, cool. I support you.
Yep. Well, that's one of the things that I think that, if any guys that are watching right now, can ever glean from us, this really is a family. And my sister says it all the time. She goes, I'm so intrigued with how close you are to this guy. Because like I'll be telling her, I said, I want Kevin to try a cigar. I want Lee to try a cigar. I want Ron to try. I want these guys to try the cigar because I think it's really, really good. But I also I value the feedback from these guys, as well. And she goes, you really do love those guys, don't you? I'm like, I'm telling you what, like an honest to God, straight up on the Bible. Like, I love them. I think they're great people. I think, and y'all, I'm just so you know, like, outside of the guy up here in your left-hand corner, everybody else out here is unbelievable people. They really are unbelievable people. The guy up there is he's a faker. He doesn't know what he's doing. He fakes all his cigar reviews. That's what I've heard.
I'm a sellout, man. I am a sellout.
And this is such a great industry. You talk about, like the camaraderie in a lounge. You go into a lounge, there's no social class. There's no, I'm richer, I'm anything else. I remember a couple years ago, probably about 2 years ago, my daughter moved down to Miami. First time she moved away from home, take a big nursing job at the hospital. She was scared. It's Miami. It's Miami, like proper, right outside, Right. And I told her, I said, the first thing you need to do, you need to Google every cigar lounge in your area. And I said, if you ever have a problem, anybody ever hassles you, anything, you don't go to your nearest cigar lounge. Those are the guys. Those are the guys that are going to take care of you. Those are the guys that's going to be able to get a hold of me. I said, Brad. I said, everybody go to your lounge. Those are, because I said it's just something that that lounge atmosphere. The brothers and sisters of the leaf. You walk in and you feel this connection with these people, and it's over this. Some rolled up leaves.
Yep. Right.
The ultimate icebreaker.
I would say what this is the greatest conduit to brotherhood and sisterhood that I've seen.
I agree.
In my life, I've seen a conduit that surpasses, races, religions, everything else like that, which is so beautiful. That I was planning on going in November to Ohio, but now I got to go all over the U.S. to see all my brothers. So I'm going so what was going to be like a 2-day trip to get to Ohio, it's going to be a week going everywhere else like that. So y'all think I'm not going to come see you? I'm going to come see you. Don't worry about that. I have my camera kit and everything like that. And I'm like, what's up? I'm here with Ron Real on the stream.
Hey, I've told people.
I'm here with Mac and Kevin. Yeah.
I've told people off camera all the time, if I ever invite you to my home, you always have an open welcome. All you have to do is say, I'm close by. But when that invitation is taken away, it's taken away. But until then, you always have an open invitation, man. I got nothing but space. You got to deal with a 2-year-old and a 1-week-old. But other than that, you'd be good.
2-year-old and a 1-week-old, man.
Yep.
I'm gonna pray for you, bro. That's hardcore. So
it's been cool so far. I'm kind of sleeping with one eye open, waiting on it to kind of downpour with the rain. But so far,
it's coming.
It's been cool.
Well, so I know Kevin and I are in sunny states, but Lee and Ron, are you guys in snow now?
Man, we got hammered.
Did you?
See, I'm in Maryland. It's not as bad. We had more ice than we had snow. So I said Maryland has these little punk ass snowstorms. So I'm from Jersey. I'm used to snow. I called my mom. She's like, yeah, the snow is like 2 feet high up here still. So
see, and we normally get ice, and we got the total opposite. I think we got between 8 to 10 inches of snow, which I have never seen it snow this hard in Memphis ever. As long as I've been alive, it's never snowed this much.
Yeah, 8 to 10 inches is nothing. We kind of laugh at that and say, all right, let's keep moving. You know?
We already bad drivers here, Unc. So you put some snow on the ground, it's horrific.
Kevin, is this the time to tell them that like water freezes at 60 degrees in both Arizona and Florida?
It's
Kevin says it's like 90 degrees. This woman had shorts on.
I work out. I'm a mechanic. I work out in the shop. We have like 6 or 7 fans in the shop. They were all going today, and we were all sweating. It was hot. It was hot today.
I didn't ride my motorcycle today because it was so cold. It was 62 degrees this morning, man. I can't there. I mean, I was so cold, so cold. Hey, thanks,
that's all right.
Appreciate it.
Y'all keep rubbing it in.
Hey, Brad, at least we have one thing in common. I'm a fair weather rider. If it gets below 70, I'm like, nah, that's it. That's enough of that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
dude. It's supposed to be. So I actually have a buddy of ours, or a fan of the show, coming in to town on Saturday, and big guy buys a lot of stuff from us, and he said, I'm gonna be in there in your side of town. We're in a Harley. Would you mind go riding with me? I'm like, yeah, I'll go riding with you. I got a Hayabusa. I'm gonna pass you up a little bit, but I'll go riding with you. And so it's supposed to be 74 here on Saturday. So that's perfect riding weather. It's perfect and everything else like that. I can't wait to get in there, and I just can't wait because it's been my bike's been parked in the backyard for like 4 or 5 days now, and I usually ride it every day here. So now I got the old Denali and I'm sucking gas like crazy, in that regard. So hey, do me a favor because I got like 3 more minutes here on the podcast. Let everyone know where to find you guys and where you guys are on the YouTube channels before we get off here. Lee, we'll start with the grandfather and or the uncle of all of us. Go ahead.
Hey, Lee Mac 912. That's it. Instagram, Lee Mac 912 on the YouTube. I have a Facebook channel. I am Leander McLean also on YouTube, but on Facebook. So that's where I am.
All right, Kevin, go for it.
Cigar Prop, right here. You can find me everywhere. Just Cigar Prop. Google it. You'll find me.
Yeah, Ron, tell them where it is.
All right, man. Y'all already know it. Well, you may not know, but if you know me on YouTube, it's Ron Real TV. If you follow me on Instagram, it's 901_Ron. And on Facebook, it's Ronald McCoy. But like I tell people, if you follow me on Facebook, please don't be with no weird shit. Just my family's on there. Just follow me on Instagram and do all your stuff over there. Don't come on there with no weird posts or nothing, because I have it now where I approve every post, and if I see something weird, I'm gonna block you. So
Right. Again,
there's your warning.
This is so great. This has been Bradley with Zeal Cigars. You guys know what it is, ZealCigars.com. Check out Zeal Team 6 all over the interwebs. We're going to be out of here. You guys hang on real quick. I want to thank you for your time. Hey, thank you guys so very much for joining us. Again, my main guest, Ron Real, with Uncle Lee Mack and Cigar Prop, Kevin Shahan. And in fact, we're going to see you out of here. We'll be out of here like last year. Peace, guys.
Peace.
Peace.